gave his life to save some animals, came there, and gave his life, he dedicated his life. That's our next video right after this. This is an owl right here. I'll let David talk about it real briefly. And then he rescues, I don't know how many, hundreds of owls a year. They say in our country between April and October, in our USA, in America, between April and October, anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 owls get killed on our highways every single week. Because owls will hunt around roads. And all these animals have been injured, and he rehabs hundreds of them.
Thank you, Jack. I'm holding a type of owl which is called the great horned owl. This is the largest of the owls that are found here in this part of the country. Great because of its size, and horned because it has those feathers on the top of its head that stick straight up. You may wonder what those feathers are used for. They're actually used for camouflage. We call them ear tufts, but they really are not connected with their ears at all. Their ears are located on the sides of their head, same place that ours are. Now, while the owl turns his head around, if you take a close look, you'll notice that it has a heart-shaped pattern on its face. What you're looking at is what we call the facial disc. Effectively, the facial disc is its earlobe, but instead of being behind its ear opening like ours is, the earlobe is in front of its ear opening. That actually makes the owl's hearing very directional. The owl can sit high up in a tree, listen very, very carefully for something walking around on the ground. A mouse or a rat or something like that, making the leaves crackle on the ground, can get the attention of an owl. And when you look at the owl looks like a very big bird. And if you try to guess how much the owl weighs, you might think 10 pounds, 15 pounds. You're going to be surprised, this bird barely weighs 3 pounds at all.
Wow.
Now, we all know that owls hoot. Owls hooting is their way of communicating. We always try to hoot like owls by going, hoo, hoo. Owls are a little bit more dramatic than we give them credit for. The great horned owl is actually the owl we try to imitate. And the great horned owl goes like this. It goes, would you like to try? You had too much to drink last night. One more time. Yeah, it's not going to work. All right. Amy's holding a immature bald eagle. Now you may wonder, why doesn't this bird have a white head and white tail like we typically see with eagles? That's because it is a young bird. This bird is only 1 year old. It takes a bald eagle about 4 years to develop the white head and white tail. Even the beak will turn yellow. After about 9 years, their eyes will go from brown to yellow as well. Now this bird's name is Hannibal. Amy proudly named the bird that because every time she's ever tried to work with an eagle, the eagle always tries to eat her face off. She figured Hannibal was going to be the same way, but Hannibal and Amy developed a very personal relationship. Hannibal came into us only at about 6 weeks old. He was a nestling that was found on the ground with massive injuries to his head. And as you take a look at his face, you'll notice that he has some scarring and is missing some feathers. We don't know what caused the injury, but we literally didn't think he was going to live. After about 24 hours, we started to see some progress. 48 hours later, we started to have some hope. Unfortunately, 10 days into the treatment, he started to develop a massive tumor on the side of his head. We went to our ophthalmologist because it was surrounding the eye. The ophthalmologist surgically removed the tumor, and it turned out to be cancer. When the pathology came back, we found that we had gotten all of the margins, and we removed it, and we had hoped that Hannibal would be able to survive very long. Unfortunately, with the type of cancer Hannibal had, there is a 75% for reoccurrence. However, I am proud to tell you that after a year, Hannibal is cancer-free.
Applause for David. Great job he does rescuing all these people. Thank you, David. We're so terrific. This is the video I wanted to show you. I want to switch it to